We're living in the final part of the last days, undoubtedly, the final part of the final part of the last days. This is the end of the world. This is the end of the world.
Hello and welcome to the Last Days live stream, the show that brings welcome levity to the end of the world, lifting the spirits of many of you battling boredom, loneliness or anxiety by infecting as many as possible with comfort and distraction as the apocalypse unfolds. And as the title of this particular show suggests, and as is more than strongly hinted in the description, this is the final part. What can I say? We were taking a mid-season break over the Christmas New Year, and I promised that I would come back on January the 6th. Today is January the 6th, so I've fulfilled that promise, but I just decided over the Christmas break, based on the more than anything based on the viewing figures for the Last Days live stream, I decided that I shouldn't continue. I had to refocus my energies in other areas. If the show had been like doing super well with views, then I might have made a different decision. But honestly, I've brought in a new video editor for the channel. I have projects that I feel should get more of my energy, and I'm worried that the live stream, especially if it's not getting enough views, isn't justifying the time that I'm putting into it. But I still think we should have a proper send-off, which is what this show is. This is the final part, and I have a suitable panel lined up who will be joining us shortly. I also for those of you who've been following recent developments in the Evans family, I am obviously not in the bunker. I am outrunning earthquakes at this particular moment, it seems. I haven't had the latest report off Deanna this morning, but unfortunately the earthquakes have been continuing, albeit smaller ones. And this has led to me making the decision, and Deanna making the decision, that we don't want to be in that area at the moment with our kids. We'd rather be far, far away. So yes, this episode, the final episode, is brought to you from an undisclosed location on the Croatian coast. I will be reading from the escape book shortly because I thought it would be nice to jump to the end for the final show. But let's take a few comments first. Curious Tapir says, last days of the last days before the very last day. I should mention, by the way, when I say it's the last show, I'm not completely writing off doing it again in the future. Think of it more as being mothballed. It's being mothballed for an indefinite period. So even though I say it's the end, a bit like the real apocalypse, it might be that it isn't actually the end. So we shall see. Tara Chapman says, hey Lloyd, I'm up. It's 11 p.m. here in Sacramento, California. Stuck in quarantine, but good with your shows. Yeah, buddy. So quarantine presumably meaning that you have perhaps tested positive, or you're high risk, or you have symptoms. If so, I do apologize. It does feel with this coronavirus thing that the net is closing. It seems to have really ramped up recently. I know the UK's recently, England, has recently gone into full lockdown. And, it's running rampant here in Croatia as well. So it is disturbing. And those of us who haven't had it yet perhaps feel as though it's just a matter of time. I'm determined not to get it purely because my father-in-law, he meets all the criteria for someone who would be a goner if he got it. So I'm trying my very best for him to avoid getting it. There's this comment from Jeremy. Lloyd, I need to talk with you about the redress scheme which jw.org will not join, I'm going to start a GoFundMe page for the victims. Can you help? I would advise against doing that. We did actually talk quite extensively about the redress scheme on Watchtower in Focus. So if you check our last 2 episodes, I think it was episode 42 was fully about the redress scheme, and in episode 43 we devote some time towards the end to revisiting the redress scheme. And I don't think a GoFundMe is needed, because based on what Kim Silvio was explaining, and she's a retired lawyer, victims can have at least some recourse with funds provided by the state on behalf of Jehovah's Witnesses, even without Jehovah's Witnesses signing up. So I don't think that this is something where people need to start private initiatives. And obviously the worry with private initiatives is that they're not regulated. And, you know, I wouldn't suggest that you're in any way not to be trusted, but, you know, let's face it, when we're talking about victims of abuse, they're going to want to know that things are properly being managed and that there's accountability and that sort of thing. So, yeah, I would advise against that, Jeremy, but your heart is in the right place. Well done for wanting to do something for the victims. And again, I would point you to those last 2 episodes of Watchtower in Focus if you want more information on that. Victoria says, good morning, everyone. Got my coffee ready to watch the sunrise with you all. That sounds lovely. I still haven't had a coffee, Victoria. Quite frankly, I don't know how I am still vertical. Joelle Brown says, this is going to be epic. I'll do my very best. And I have lined up, it must be said, a kick-ass panel brimming with divas. So we go to Mad Jock 2112. Good morning from Scotland. I take it this is the last live show for a while due to the earthquakes. If so, I want to say a huge thank you to you, your guests, and all that have chatted with me in here. Been a great help to me. Take care and loads of love. Thank you so much, Mad Jock. You'll be sorely missed as someone whose name I always see in the comments. It isn't so much about the earthquake. I mean, obviously the earthquake isn't helping, but it was kind of a decision that was made or taken before the earthquake struck. So this is more about, you know, I'm not so proud as to not be able to take a hint. And if I'm making a particular type of video that just isn't getting views compared to other videos, I'd rather make the videos that people are viewing or that people find interesting. Not that people didn't find this show interesting. I personally feel that the Last Days live stream is ahead of its time. The finest apocalyptic live stream in the world. It's probably one of those things, Renato's nodding in the green room, it's probably one of those things where it will only be appreciated fully once it's ended. And years from now, there will be a dedicated cult following of the old shows. And we will be required, we will be demanded to regroup, and maybe I'll get a movie deal from J.J. Abrams, and there will be a blockbuster Last Days live stream movie. You know, I try not to run ahead too much, as you can see, but you know, don't write off anything. Don't write off anything. It's being mothballed for now. Hello there, Christy. Nice to see you with us. We have Danoka Pilano. Hello there. It looks like that's a Canadian flag. Trent Coleman is here. Hello. Dirk Brücke says, schönen Grüße aus Luckenwalde und ein frohes neues Jahr. I've probably butchered the pronunciation, but it's just funny to try. Thank you for that presumably kind message. Hopefully it's not a grave insult. Joelle has wine. Well, look, I'm not going to judge you. Probably I should be judged if I did have wine, because it's quite early in the morning here. But you just do whatever you need to do to enjoy, to get through the day. Sheila Kaufman says, good night, good morning from Bend, Oregon. Hello there. We have Tristram from Tristram House from Kent, UK. Wow, lots of you showing up. Deanna Watkins is here. Rianne is here. Hello, all you beautiful and brave apostates. And I think Rianne has also sent through a super chat. Thank you very much. The last live stream, loved every minute. Thanks all off the panel participants and especially Lloyd and family. Wow, thank you so much. Yeah, it's been a real roller coaster. Hayden says, last day live stream, reboot for the future. Look, don't write it off. Again, we were ahead of our time. One of those things where we'll only be fully appreciated once we're gone. Lovely to see Sherry here as well. I'm well, Jensa Hansen. It's humid over here. Lanina, I probably pronounced that wrong, is in full swing, and we've nearly had daily thunderstorms. Good grief. We had a hailstorm last night at 4:30, and it was terrifying. It's one of those things where you're like, okay, Armageddon bingo. Just how many boxes are we going to tick before I have to get on the channel and say, actually, yeah, it is Armageddon. But we had an almighty hailstorm last night. I'm actually worried. I'm going to be checking the car with some trepidation as someone who has actually had a car damaged here in Croatia due to the size of hail that we get here. I'm hoping that the hail won't have been that bad, but yeah. Ugh. The apocalypse bearing down on us. It's a good job we're finishing the show before that choice gets taken from us by the Almighty. Okay, what we're going to do now, I've downloaded, because I obviously don't have the bunker with me, and one item from the bunker that I have been referring to for the last day's live stream has been my own book, How to Escape from Jehovah's Witnesses. I don't have any physical copies with me because it wasn't top of my list of things to retrieve when I was fleeing for my life. However, Arthur has come to the rescue, and he has sent me a PDF of the How to Escape book, and I will read the final 3. Is it 3? Yeah, well, 2.5 pages. How about we do that? Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. So let's begin. So this is from page 132. Perhaps the greatest challenge you face in escaping Jehovah's Witnesses is to reach a point where you can forgive yourself for getting dragged in to begin with. When you leave the witnesses, it is easy to be fiercely angry at yourself for being so easily conned into believing something that is manifestly ludicrous when subjected to the mildest scrutiny. You might wonder, how could I have genuinely believed that billions of people deserve to die for not believing as I do? How could I have prayed for this to happen every day? Try not to capitulate to self-loathing in this way. You did not get sucked into this absurd belief system willingly and knowingly, or as a result of being stupid or gullible. You got sucked in because you were lied to. Even the smartest people can be persuaded to believe things that do not make sense if they are indoctrinated as children or cleverly tricked and deceived as adults. It is important that you can reach a stage where you can forgive yourself for the years or decades you may have wasted in the organization and seize whatever positives can be gleaned from your experience. In my own case, my experience has put me in a position where I know more than most people about cults, making it easier for me to show solidarity and compassion to victims of such groups, and motivating me to raise awareness of their plight through activism. I also met my wife as a direct result of being heavily involved with the witnesses, and the happy marriage and beautiful daughter that have resulted from this encounter, 2 beautiful daughters now, are unquestionably products of my witness past. There is no shame in admitting that. Of course, none of this excuses the abuse inflicted on countless witnesses by Watchtower, and it certainly does not make witness teachings true. But for better or worse, I am the person I am because of once being a Jehovah's Witness, and I have found it extremely beneficial to take ownership of this fact and make peace with my past in order to move forward. It may be difficult or impossible, even with therapy, to fully cleanse oneself of lingering emotional and psychological damage from years of being in a cult. But it is possible and extremely enriching to reconcile your past experiences and embrace the fact that you are a stronger, wiser, more compassionate person as a result of your witness background. If there is any pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, once your bid for freedom is successful, it is attaining a state of mind where you are free from guilt and self-loathing and able to love yourself for dealing with everything life has thrown at you as best you could. Yes, you have made some bad choices in life. Who hasn't? Yes, you have wasted time and energy supporting and promoting an abusive organization, perhaps over many years. But while millions of witnesses continue to languish in servitude to the whims of a group of men in New York, you are one of the few who summoned the bravery and integrity to go against the flow, to question cherished beliefs, and to value truth above all else. Never allow yourself to forget that. No matter what challenges await you, you get to look at yourself in the mirror and know that you beat the odds, triumphed over adversity, and won a life that is authentic. You may not have all the answers, but you now have something infinitely more valuable. You have the freedom to ask the questions, the freedom to think for yourself, the freedom to be loved and appreciated unconditionally, the freedom to be you. And that's how I close How to Escape from Jehovah's Witnesses. Sorry, just distracted slightly by Arthur trying to get on the panel. Let's actually bring in our panel. We have Amanda from Canada. We have Renato, who is appearing graciously after we struck an accord with his agent. And shortly to join us, we'll have... Oh, here he is. He didn't take long at all. We have Arthur Weber, the singing sensation from Romania. How are you all?
Hello.
Hi, everyone.
So, what's it like to be the last panel of the last day's live stream?
Oh man, how long do we have? It's definitely bittersweet. I'm just gonna say that. I'm such a big fan of this show, and so to see it ending is not a lot of fun, but also being part of the end of it is a lot of fun at the same time. So conflicting emotions, let's say.
I find it bittersweet as well. I mean, when the last day's live stream first started
I like to think that if we did ever...
Mute your YouTube.
I'm sorry. Yeah. My YouTube is muted.
No, we can hear you.
Sorry, I don't. You can hear me.
Yeah, you're getting the double effect. Okay, we can hear you. Yeah,
I was for just a moment there. Yeah. Okay. Well, I was going to say, it is bittersweet, and the last day's live stream came for me during a time when I was feeling very vulnerable and really needed the support in the community. So it's been a huge help, and I'm going to miss a lot of seeing everybody's names and talking to everybody in the live chat week in and week out.
Indeed. One thing I really hope to try and do is compensate a little by having more live streams. Because whereas the last day's live stream has been struggling with views, I think because we just chat, don't we? We just have a conversation between friends. When we have a specific subject that we're addressing, those live streams always do well. So I think if we can just kind of compensate a little bit by having more of those live streams where we discuss a certain theme, we have obviously Watch Time Focus, which is being rebranded as JW Watch, but we'll also have, we had the 20 saucy images live stream. I want to do more of those really, where there's a specific subject that we're grappling with, and we can have that buzz in the live chat, because I genuinely believe that I have some amazing subscribers, and whenever I do a premiere or a live stream, they all come out in the live chat, and there's a fantastic banter going on. So I love seeing that.
It is because we all do watch the live chat whenever there are premieres, and it's overwhelming, the positive support we get from all the viewers.
Indeed.
And
I
for
always
me,
love seeing new people. Go on, sorry.
for me, the live stream kind of coincided with my waking up. I woke up like a month into the live stream, April of last year, which is insane to look back and see how long it feels, but also it's only 9 months ago. But it really helped me realize, because I was so scared and confused as I was waking up, obviously, to see that apostates are really nice people and loving, beautiful people, really, and they care about each other and they have friends. And I was really scared at the beginning to join the live chat, but then I realized, it's fun to meet these people, and I made some unbelievable life-changing friends, really, thanks to this. So this is real. I don't know if it's an unintended consequence, because you actually wanted people to come together with this and to provide distraction, but the community that's been built over this, and what Amanda said, seeing the same names every single live stream, and knowing these people, even though most of their names sometimes aren't real because they're PMOs or whatever, you feel like you know those people, and Livestream has created that, and it's been just lovely.
Very well said, Renato. Again, I'm hoping. I mean, look, I consider it mothballed. Who knows? Maybe there'll be a way that we can bring it back in the future. But if nothing else, there will be other live streams that we'll be doing, and hopefully we can continue a little bit of the vibe and a little bit of the banter that we've enjoyed so much in these shows. Just taking a few comments. Mr. Apex says, react to the new Caleb and Sophia video. Yes, sir. Video about it soon. I've recorded a video and it will be released tomorrow. I actually filmed it yesterday. It's one of the first videos that my video editor Tibor has edited for me, and it really worked well having him on board with this earthquake and everything, because obviously I've not had the same capability to do what I normally do in the bunker. So having Tibor on hand to edit whatever I send has been very, very helpful indeed. Genza says, I have stopped feeling alone. I think this is when I was reading from the Escape book. That's really lovely to hear, Genza. Gloria says, many people waste years even after they leave questioning whether they should go back or not. This is the potency of the indoctrination. And I kind of joked before about the hailstones, but if you're not fully kind of deprogrammed, if you've not been fully debriefed regarding your indoctrination, that kind of thing can have an effect, and you can think, gosh, I need to do something. I need to get back to Jehovah's organization. So even though, we've called it the Last Days live stream tongue-in-cheek, we're under no illusions that, people really do believe that it's the last days, and they really do believe that it's Armageddon, even after they've left,
Yeah, I think I even said that during the live stream that you did a couple of days ago. I was thinking of JWs in Croatia, that on top of having to deal with an earthquake, they have to deal with the anxiety of thinking it's the end of the world. So I can't imagine, because I was a Jehovah's Witness, but I haven't gone through an earthquake. So just how anxiety-inducing it must have been, especially with the multiple earthquakes coming after the big one, and them thinking, what does this all mean, and what do I do now? And it's so scary.
Especially the kids. Like, I remember as a Jehovah's Witness, especially when I was very young, like 10 and 11 years old, every time there was a big bad event on the news, I was scared. I was waiting for Armageddon to come. Like, there were times I would hide in my bathroom thinking, like, this is it. It's coming. And it never would, obviously, but I can only imagine kids in Croatia going through that and having their JW parents reinforce, it's the end. It's the end. And how panicked they must be feeling.
Indeed. And, it's a weird thing, an earthquake. It does feel, and if earthquakes were happening all the time, it would be a very different experience living on our planet, wouldn't it? The fact is that most of the times, depending on where you live, they're a rare occurrence. So when they strike, it's very, very alarming and very, very unsettling. And it does feel very, very apocalyptic. But the simple truth is we're living on a planet with moving plates, with a molten core, and these things are inevitable. If there were no earthquakes, that would be a news item, wouldn't it? There haven't been any earthquakes for a year. We'd all be panicking because we'd be thinking, oh no, what's about to happen,
The crust is still and the earth stood still, right?
Indeed, yeah.
But in the same note of apocalyptic feelings, I would like to quote a sentence here in the January S147 document we received yesterday.
He uses these abbreviations. I do apologize, viewers. What's the S147 document, Arthur?
The announcements and reminders we
Thank
get
you.
at the beginning of every month. All the elders, we receive it. So there is in paragraph 7, where they are talking about special effort to assist inactive ones, there is a sentence saying like this: Bible prophecy and world events helps us to see clearly that the Great Tribulation will commence in the very near future.
Thanks for being so specific there, guys. Yeah, that's really helpful. Yeah, you've really taken a risk there by stating so specifically when it is that this is going to happen.
The system will come to an abrupt end.
I like that they changed it up this time. They didn't say it's around the corner. I like the change in the language for once.
But it's just total charlatanry, isn't it? They don't want to commit to a time scale. They can only say, oh yes, the end is coming and it will be abrupt. Oh, okay. Thank you for that. That really helps.
And those comments on JW Talk are absolutely astonishing.
Yes, Arthur, should you be announcing to the world that you are a mole on there? Are we good with doing that?
Well, as long as they don't know what my user is, because my actual user has been banned, I guess 2 years ago or so.
So JW Talk, for those who don't know, it's an exclusive Jehovah's Witness chat room where you only get to spend any amount of time there or rise in any kind of seniority if you can be utterly compelling as someone who is completely indoctrinated and brainwashed into Jehovah's Witnesses. And for some reason, Arthur has managed to tick those boxes.
That's not surprising.
Why do you say for some reason like it's surprising? He just read a letter, for Christ's sake.
So yeah, but it has been helpful, hasn't it, Arthur? Without going into too much detail, it has been helpful, some of the information that we gleaned from there. So,
obviously. Undoubtedly, dear brothers and sisters.
We welcome onto the live stream Mr. Ortiz. How are you?
What's going on, everybody? How you doing?
We're doing well, and more importantly, how are you doing? Because I don't know how much you're able to divulge. We can gloss over the issue, but you've been having COVID problems.
Yes, we are waiting. Are waiting our test results. We had contact with someone who tested positive, and we're waiting for our test results to make sure we're cool.
So but you're not feeling any symptoms personally?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah. So my results came in and I'm good. My wife's came in and then we're waiting for our kids' results to come in. So,
but they
have symptoms. Yes.
Yeah. God, scary stuff. But yeah. I'm really sorry to hear that, and I can imagine it's been very anxious for you.
A little bit. But that's why I joined. I was like, since I'm up,
you thought Lloyd's gonna really cheer me up here, and he's not gonna launch straight into questioning over COVID.
It's gonna be a distraction from all the anxiety I'm feeling right now.
I should have known, though.
Okay, message received and understood. Let's have a little bit of distraction. What I thought we'd do is wrap up the last day's quiz with an award ceremony.
As one brother put it, stay alive to 75.
Hello and welcome to the last day's quiz, which has been, I'm sure we will all agree, the ultimate battle of minds. As two teams, well, there won't be two teams. Anyway, usually there will be two teams of panelists facing off against each other to prove their knowledge of this show and Jehovah's Witness, Doomsday Dogma. But of course, the quiz has run its course. I arranged the league so that both teams would play each other twice. They've instead played each other once, so they've all played the correct amount of games for us to understand exactly what's what and understand who our victor is. And Renato and I have been running the stats, and I can now proudly announce the winner of the last day's quiz, which I've decided to do with a little segment. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong camera. Javier, congratulations. I don't know, I mean, obviously we'll go to the panel shortly, but I hope you don't mind me saying I wasn't expecting you to come through to prevail in that, but you really defied the odds there and came out on top. So how does it feel?
Listen, there's so much I want to say. I want to thank all the people out there who have lost their indoctrination for standing by me, and I accept this award and this prize with much modesty and humility.
There is a very large, shiny award, a very expensive award, and I'm told by DHL that it will be arriving at your address just before Armageddon. So it will be arriving imminently.
Okay. I'll be on the lookout for it.
So, Renato, can you just talk us through the math here? Because I don't know, it just seemed to me as though Arthur was doing very well in the quiz, and he might be a bit puzzled as to why his name isn't on the trophy. So what's happened here?
Well, so what's happened is, if we look at the table, which I've compiled, obviously, as the moderator of the live stream and the live chat.
And you are a professional as well. It should just be.
Yes, of course. It was my job.
Yeah.
It was the reason I was brought in, is just to moderate the quiz.
Yeah.
So the final table, we did a table for season 2 because we wanted to be organized. And all 4 teams played 3 times each. And at the end of with 3 points counting for a win, and also the points that they scored during the quiz counting. And so the final table is Arthur's Knights with 78 points, Team O'Donnell with 73.5 points, Team D'Souza with 67.5 points, and Team Havalicious with 38. Now, you wonder, how does Team Havalicious win with half the points of Arthur's Knights? The answer is the table is inverted, which means that the worst team is actually the winner, because it means that sucking at the quiz means winning a life, because you forget everything that you learn as a Jehovah's Witness.
So if I understand you correctly, Renato, the way to win the quiz wasn't to get the most points. It was to be appalling at answering the questions and thus demonstrate that you have as little indoctrination as possible.
Exactly. Being terrible at this was the best thing from the start.
Oh, okay. I probably should have made that clear at the beginning. So apologies if I didn't make that clear, but nevertheless, those are the rules. Secret rules, but rules nonetheless.
So we won.
Congratulations, Amanda.
Hooray!
We did.
And
We did.
I get to crown myself now.
Yes, you can,
Well,
please.
well,
Very
I
nice.
just-
Very nice.
Look at this, Javier.
Dun, dun,
What
dun,
is
dun.
this?
This is
Armageddon's finest bird food.
Nice.
Team Havalicious.
Very cool.
so I'm going to put this on. wait.
Very nice.
We
There's a
won, Amanda.
thumbnail.
Lovely.
We're winners at life.
So obviously, ladies and gentlemen, it's in
Yeah,
tune.
commiserations to Arthur's Knights. It was a brave effort. You valiantly sallied forth into this quiz. But ultimately you were just a bit too indoctrinated in the end.
I didn't want to comment on that part. I wanted to comment on the fact that here in the last day's quiz, there were secret rules, just as in Jehovah's organization, there are rules that are unknown to regular publishers, even though they are being judged by those rules. Isn't it sweet?
Well, thank you for taking defeat so graciously.
Yeah, you put
Arthur.
in all the effort, and then you don't know that you lost. It's crazy.
It's just, yeah.
Why would we do that, Lloyd? Like,
although at the outset we just didn't know how bad Javier would be, and thus how good he would be. I honestly didn't expect him to triumph so emphatically as he has done.
I tried my worst.
I mean, the first time he played, he got 5 points, which
That's pretty
it's
bad.
hard to beat that.
That's
bad.
yeah.
5
That's
points.
eye-wateringly bad. Yeah.
I just want to point out that Amanda really was trying to score us points. So we won. No thanks to her.
They almost won.
Points for
They
us
almost
in our
won
game.
last
Just
week.
for that habit, you can't wear this hat.
Anyway, congratulations to Team Havalicious. I can think of no better way to celebrate than to have a sing-along with Arthur. And I'm going to do the segment.
Hello, viewers, and welcome to the last installment of Sing Along with Arthur in this season. Because obviously Armageddon is coming quickly. It's around the corner. I was initially thinking about several ways to do Sing Along with Arthur in the first episode of 2021.
I really appreciate you giving us this background, by the way. It's very helpful.
Initially, I was planning to do
And we don't want to interrupt the
We won't interrupt this time.
because it would be very rude to
It's
do.
very, very important that we don't interrupt. So, Amanda, could you just please not interrupt
I don't think we
Arthur?
should ever interrupt Arthur. We should definitely let him keep talking.
Javier, could you not interrupt Arthur, please, when he's talking?
Yeah, I
Because-
will not.
Okay,
Wait,
it's important.
Is this another thing where you do the opposites?
No. It's important that he does his preamble. So please continue, Arthur.
So initially, I wanted to end season 2 of the Last Days live stream with a certain song that I was about to write in the near future. Then, to start 2021, I was planning a different song. All right, because of certain developments in the JW world, I scrubbed both of these versions, and I came up with a perfect idea to end the last day's live stream with the following song. It's a
I can't
song.
imagine why the last day's live stream hasn't been getting the views, by the way, with this sort of quality. But there we go.
It's a song I didn't write. Neither the melody nor the lyrics.
Thank you for clarifying. Yeah.
That was very important.
But it's a song that very well goes into what has been going on in the past weeks. So, music, maestro.
Oh, good grief.
No.
Now I'm going to get sued by Watchtower.
No.
Oh no!
Oh, God.
If you cover our songs, we will chase you. We'll make much trouble for you and your friends. We'll call you out for your slack way of worship. We'll spit on you if you don't make amends. And obey what you do. Don't think that we're being rude. Or just a fake as we've said all these years. Listen when you're real. Don't think our action is being egregious.
Hearing me is the reason I drink.
But if you cover our songs, we are jealous. Like Phineas, we'll stab you with a spike. Listen, obey your pursuit. Don't think that we're being rude.
That's a tearjerker, man.
Right to the feels.
Prepare for a feud. Listen, obey, or be sued. Like a torch.
Oh, there's another verse.
Follows the rainstorm. We are litigious beyond all compare. We'll chase you
This is like the
down.
musical version of one of those really long prayers that never ends.
Cast us out if you dare. Listen, obey, or be sued. This is our pledge, you are screwed. Be ready for action, we'll see you in court. Listen, obey, or be sued.
Thank you very much, Arthur. That was undeniably a song. There were lyrics, there was a melody-ish. There were things happening there, and it's sometimes difficult to process things in words. But I'm going to ask Renato to do just that.
Oh, thanks for throwing it to me. Man,
Yeah.
It's indescribable, really. And I think that's best for everyone. And
think so.
if that song wasn't already ruined, it's just been. So congrats to Ale Jones and Arthur, I think, because you made the worst song in JW history, in my opinion, now completely unlistenable. So congratulations.
Who knew that the viewers to the final part of the last day's live stream would be treated to a Kingdom melody being utterly butchered, sacrificially almost. I think the lyrics there were very clever, weren't they, Arthur? And it's all about, obviously, the recent Aled Jones controversy.
Exactly.
Listen, obey, or be sued. Yeah, so that was very clever. And was it you that came up with those lyrics, or was it
No.
in collaboration?
The lyrics were posted on Twitter by a user called Layant No Locus No Ma.
Yeah.
And Jason Wynn tweeted that back. He forwarded those lyrics, and I recorded them
You
shortly
did.
thereafter.
You definitely did. But yeah, thank you for that extra information. Just in case Watchtower's legal department is watching this,
so
it's
really-
always helpful
really-
to have that
really
extra
thanks.
information.
I
Yeah.
would like to extend sincere thanks to the Twitter user who came up with these wonderful lyrics.
Would you like to extend any sincere thanks, Javier?
I'm just wondering why I stayed up for this.
I'll tell you why you stayed up. It's so that you can give us a movie review.
I'm gonna miss that intro.
I actually have you ever tried looking for videos about Sentai's apricot scrub on YouTube?
No, actually, I've never tried.
I was going to try. I did that purely to see if there was any interesting footage that I could mix into your the video announcing your victory, and they were all negative. Everyone hating on Sentai's apricot scrub as though it's some kind of poison. But there we go.
Oh, well, you know.
Well, I feel like at Javi's skin, it's not poison at all.
It isn't.
Some people don't like beautiful.
Surely in the pudding, and Javi's skin is the smoothest of baby butt puddings. If that's even a thing.
Exactly what it is.
Those are words I never imagined myself saying.
I
But
do
yeah,
love that. It's just wrong.
I'm glad that's not just the same in Brazil because it's one of my favorites. The face is as soft as a baby butt, so well.
In any case, thank you for the intro.
He's so done with it.
No, so I'm happy to talk about this film because one, it's a Pixar movie, and it's a film called Soul, which is currently available on Disney Plus. It was a film that was supposed to have been released in theaters this year, but due to COVID and the whole situation in the States, it went straight to Disney Plus. But it's directed by Peter Docter, who's the same guy who did the Up films, and Inside Out, which are some of my favorite Pixar films. And has anybody on the panel watched this one yet?
Nope.
No, I've been meaning to, but haven't had time yet.
Never ask Renato if he's watched anything. You'll only be disappointed.
Thanks. I mean,
Yeah.
I just watched Matrix last week for the first time.
Yeah,
So
he's really behind, I'm
probably
afraid.
not a good idea to talk to me about movies.
Yeah.
Javi, you need to introduce me to stuff because I have never watched anything in my life, literally. So
Well, I'm glad you watched The Matrix. Welcome to 2021.
Renato,
It's a film. It's about a jazz musician who finally gets his big break, and he ends up in a near-death experience. And it's a really cool film. If anyone has artistic ambitions, it really dives into the state of mind of someone who's pursuing the arts. What happens when someone enters the zone? You know, if you're in that zone creatively. So I don't want to give away too many details, but it stars Jamie Foxx as he plays the main character. Tina Fey, a fellow Brit, Graham Norton, also plays one of the characters. The music is done by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. Trent Reznor of Nine Inch Nails. So he's doing scoring for Disney movies now. So so I highly recommend it. I enjoyed it very much. Check it out. Soul.
Excellent.
Pixar, currently on Disney Plus.
Is it just the one movie for this review, or is there anything else?
Yeah, it's just the one. This week,
Okay.
I've been watching a lot of old films for some reason, so I'm kind of discovering what's out on HBO Max. They have a lot of classic films. I watched Citizen Kane again a couple of nights ago for the first time in a couple of years. if you've never watched that one, I recommend that one too. It's one of the great classics. But I won't review that one because it's like ages old. Renato, maybe when you decide to catch up on some films, you might check out Citizen Kane.
Oh, nice. Okay.
But seriously, I mean, it's interesting, isn't it, how different films age differently, and some films really age appallingly, and some films are almost like wine; they just get better. Like one of my all-time favorites is The Great Escape. Every time I watch it, I just think classic. It just there's nothing about it that I can find fault in. I just really enjoy the way it's been put together. But other films, of course, you come back to even just a few years later, and it's already aging badly.
Yeah,
Like
that's
the
a good
Caleb
one,
and
though.
Sophia series.
Steve McQueen.
Absolutely, can't beat a bit of Steve McQueen. Many thanks, by the way, to Jacob Baxley for your super chat. That's very kind indeed. And Riverbank sending in a bit of appreciation there. I'm not sure whether it is a giant toilet roll hat, although maybe Amanda can clarify.
It's a former birthday hat. These are actually candles. But then I put the little logo on top anyway.
I mean,
It's not a giant toilet roll.
I try not to judge people, but I like to think that Amanda isn't the sort of person who would need toilet roll of that size. I certainly don't.
And of course, Amanda isn't someone who would jump on the live stream from the bathroom.
Right. No, and
she's got a bit of class. She's got grace and she's got class. You're right there, Arthur. Yeah.
Who would do that? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Arthur, we're gonna need to prove that you're not in blue this time.
I'm glad it's never happened on this show. It would have been really embarrassing.
Yeah, it would have been, of course.
I've just had a delivery of coffee. Thank you very much, Diana.
One question: couldn't we have Diana on the show for this closing episode?
Well, with this, judging by the speed with which she's escaped and closed the door behind her, I would probably suggest no. But yeah, I mean, look, I love having her on the channel, but she's not. Not everyone. I mean, as you can tell with me, I mean, I'm very camera shy. I'm very bashful.
Oh, of course.
Obviously.
Obviously.
Why are you even on YouTube? I mean,
yeah, exactly. And so, if you can imagine this, she's even more camera shy than I am. Difficult to imagine, I know, but yeah. So Christy K saying Deanna is so nice. She is.
So, dear viewers, can you imagine Lloyd being camera shy? Because he has appeared in hundreds of vlogs, hundreds of videos, even on national television. So he's obviously very, very camera shy. Don't we agree?
If we're just going to say crazy things like this, then we might as well get it out there. And Arthur's a great singer. Okay.
Right.
Wow. That came from left field. That came from left field. Who knew that on the final Last Days live stream we will be getting honest appreciation for Arthur's talents? We've just had it there from Javier. He's a great singer. How can we get some reaction to that, please?
Well, I received my talent from Jehovah God.
Oh, no.
So all the glory goes to him.
Oh, Lord.
I'm just a tool in his hands, just like Susan said.
On that we can agree, Arthur. You are definitely a tool. Yeah.
Lloyd, I really miss when Arthur lost his audio for no reason in the past. Like that's the thing I miss. So in the last live stream, I really hope that would kind of happen again. So
you would think that would happen again, wouldn't you?
Just throwing it out there.
Okay. Message received and understood. But we are going to end early, I think, because I wanted to basically give the show a send off, explain what's happening, wrap up the Last Days quiz. For those who are just joining towards the end, again, it's purely about the fact that, quite frankly, we weren't getting great numbers for the show. and I'm not so proud as to be unable to take a hint. If I can see that some videos are doing better than others, I'm going to want to focus on those. And recently I had a new video editor join, so that's freeing up my possibilities in terms of the kind of videos I can make. And I've decided to just divert those energies towards, things that people are really watching a lot. So that's kind of where the logic is coming from. But even though this is the final part of the last day's live stream, consider the show mothballed for now. I'm not writing off entirely it coming back again in the future. It's just for now, I can't see how I'm going to do it. But yeah, it's been an absolute blast, and I'm really grateful that this panel was here right at the end.
Yeah, it's time and unforeseen circumstances, obviously.
So no more movie
Exactly.
reviews? Is that what you're doing?
And
That's what I was gonna say. We should
You would
have
think
we
that
should
the
have
movie-
the movie. We should have the movie reviewing like the
you would think that the movie
Watchtower
reviews.
Focus episode or something. We should keep it going. I look forward to it every week. So.
You would think that the movie reviews on their own would be enough to save the show, Javi, but unfortunately they weren't. I don't know how or why. I mean, I imagine that Sing Along with Arthur would be bringing in the views, especially with the lengthy monologues. For some bizarre and inexplicable reason, the views haven't been there. So, but. It's not an end to the channel. I've seen one or two saying, "Oh, is this the end of the channel?" No, it's just the last day's live stream that is being put in suspended animation. And who knows, it might come back again in the future, at which point we'll bring back all of the gang. And speaking of the gang, I just want to give an honorary mention to all of the Aussies who've been on the show, most notably Sasha and Sherry, who've put in a shift and a half over the last, since March, since we started the show under the name The Coronavirus Lockdown Livestream. Sasha with his wonderful poetry, Sherry with her comfort corner. We've had Hayden, we've had Paige, we've had Kim. We have
had Naomi with her Bible box.
We've had Naomi's Bible box. Yes, she got a job, so she wasn't able to continue doing that, but she entertained us with her Bible box for a number of episodes. And yeah, hopefully over 2020, we've provided people with what we set out to achieve, which is to give a little bit of levity. I remember at the time it feeling very apocalyptic. The way, we'd never really seen countries shut down before, had we? And there was a real apocalyptic feeling in the air. And maybe it's just me, but now it's almost as though, even though the lockdowns are continuing, it's kind of the new normal and we're all acclimatized to it. So it's less it feels less urgent to be doing what I set out to do with the last day's live stream, if that makes sense.
People are adapting to new circumstances, just like in the future when we will be implementing this new method of making disciples with the Enjoy Life Forever book. So we are adapting.
Unfortunately, we've lost Arthur's audio, but just as he was finishing anyway, so he managed to get me there. Well done, Arthur. One last victory at the end. John Hagberries, that's a very impressive name, says, "Oh boy, it's the final part of the last day's live stream." Indeed, it is. We also have another one from Rianne. "I'm going to miss it dearly, but of course, completely understandable. Love you all." Thank you so much indeed, Rianne. So yes, here we are at the bitter end. All I can say is thank you, panel, for this show. It's been a blast. Congratulations again, Javi, for triumphing against all odds in the last day's quiz.
And against all rules, you might say.
I'll wear it as a badge of dishonor.
And congratulate and well done, Arthur, for your relentless attention to the Sing Along with Arthur segment, and also thank you, Renato, for moderating the quiz. So if I've missed anyone out, I apologise. But yeah, we've had so many people on the show making it special, and I appreciate each and every one of you, and I especially appreciate those of you in the live chat who've been following along. and lovely to see you all there now. 200, in fact, across all different platforms. So that's fantastic.
Actually, the show couldn't have been the show it was without our viewers in the live chat.
Do you want to say anything triggering now, Arthur?
No, I wasn't triggering anything.
Okay.
Oh,
Wow, that was shocking.
I was bracing
really-
myself.
I was really expecting
My finger was hovering over the mute button there, but you managed to say something entirely untriggering. And on that bombshell, it's time to end the show. Thank you so much to my amazing panel. Thank you to everyone in the live chat. This has been the Last Days live stream. We're going, but who knows? Maybe we'll be back in the future, especially if Hollywood comes calling. J.J. Abrams, reach out
Or
to me.
Javier Ortiz.
Or Javier
Who's
Ortiz.
J.K. Abrams?
Anyway,
Oh dear.
thank you so much to everyone. Remember, stay healthy, stay positive, and yes, we will see you elsewhere on the channel. Take care.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.